Well, there you are. Again, Charlie Greer podcast. Again, I do this every day. Today, we're going to talk about Kratom. You know what Kratom is? It's like a herb, uh, medicine kind of. Um, I'd heard about it over the years about like it's good for withdrawal, like opiate withdrawals, people that are like in rehab or something. I didn't. Um, so how I stumbled upon how I started suckling the sweet teat of kratom, I stumbled upon it is I had an injury. I got injured in 2020, head, neck, and back injury. I don't really get into it, but so I had to go through like a year of therapy. I'm still not right, and I get pain. You just learn to deal with pain, but they were wanting to prescribe me all these like drugs, like real drug. And I want to be no, because how strong-willed you are, you're taking all those things for a year. So you're gonna be hooked to the gills to the on these, prescribed pain pills. I didn't want to do it. Like, nope, I see. And sometimes I'd be in so much pain, I had to roll out of bed. I couldn't move my neck, move my head. So at the start of this, I used to. There was a cigarette store, but it also sold clothes and electronics um and so I would go get my cigarettes. This is in Arcadia. This is around like 20, maybe the summer of 2020, like about 2 years ago. So I was in line, and there was a woman dressed nice, looked like she had it going on, sophisticated, professional, businesswoman or whatever. And she's like, "Yeah, can you give me this huge thing of kratom?" Like it was a big bottle. And then I noticed there was all this crate on the shelf behind them. They had like every kind of. Again, I didn't know there was different kind. There's white, red, yellow, all this. There's shit. So, uh, I go, "Excuse me," and I hate to, I asked her. I go, "I hate to, bug you, but what is kratom? Why are you buying this kratom?" And she's like, "Look, I got in a car wreck. I got hurt. They gave me these medicines that I eventually got in a month or two. I was addicted, so a doctor said like you use kratom. So I switched to kratom to get me off the medicine. Now I do kratom." And I'm like, "Really?" I was like, "Man, I got I got injured. I need something to help me out." She's like, "You should try it." And that was it. Left it. And then the guy behind the counter is like, "Hey man, I'll give you a deal here for $10. I'll give you this like bottle of kratom." I was like, "Okay." I think it was the green kratom. So I took two. About a half hour later, I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, wasn't like I was high, but I wasn't in pain. I wasn't stiff, because a lot of times if you're in pain, it's better to be stiff than to be in pain, because it's just, man, it's the snowball effect. If you're in pain, now you can't really do what you want to do. Here comes depression and anxiety. It's a mess, So I took some kratom. I took two of them. And now the guy told me when I bought it, he was like, "Man, people eat handfuls of this stuff. They go through, they're just eating bottles a day or two." So I was like, "Man, I don't want to, be eating handfuls of kratom. Is it addictive? It's just that." So I took it. I would take two, uh, and I could go about my day. It wouldn't last that long. I mean, it would last into the day. I'd take it like after I ate lunch, and then it'd get me through my day, and then I was fine at night. But I was worried that like I'd taken it like every day. I just started taking it, had that bottle, uh, and I took like two a day, and I thought, well, maybe let's just see. Um, I've done it for every day for 30 days. Let's give it a couple days and not see if I have any withdrawals or anything like that. And I didn't. I was like, awesome, because you take like a high level pain pill, an opiate or whatever it is, for like 30 days, dude. At that 31 day, you don't take it, you're gonna feel it. It takes 30 days to, if you take strong pills, you're gonna And I've never been like into that opioid. Like I want to be able to have my own thoughts, and I'm not into. It make me nauseous. I had oral surgery back in the day, and they gave me these opiates. I was like, no, it's made me sick. I guess people could get used to that. I wasn't even high. I was just, I mean, I was, but I was like nauseous. And So then I found out I went to a place that sold Kratom. I YouTube it and stuff, and I realized that I was using the green. And then there's red, yellow, white. Um, the red and the yellow, I mean, the yellow I don't like to take because it's more hyper. It's like you drink a lot of coffee. White is, it's not mellower. It's hyper. But the white is the mellow, kind of like the green. But they all kind of give you a little boost of energy. What else is there? Then they have like mixtures of, but I've never done a lot of it. Like I never did the, again, like these people I'd buy a bottle and it lasts me forever. And it helped me out. I mean, shit. Thank you, Kratom. For one, I didn't want to be on the teat, if you will, of opiate medicines. Like I'd rather do some kind of therapeutic, it's natural. Kratom is. It's like a leaf or something. And they've been using Kratom forever. Matter of fact, I don't think they want you to know about Kratom because it's probably bad for the pharmaceutical industry. They'll be losing money. Again, you can get addicted to anything. You could, and a lot of addiction is an oral and mental addiction. You're just used to popping, And I've watched a few YouTube videos where people were warning of Kratom. Yeah. And people were like, oh my God, I was taking so much. Well, I never did that. I never did like handfuls a day, just like gulping Kratom. I didn't want to. And you do get a tolerance. I went from like 2 and about after a year, I needed like 4, But then when I went up to 6, I remember I was like, I'll try. I didn't like the way it made me feel. And these are little small, Oh, and that first bottle that I got, it recommended taking 6. Like start off with 6. And I was like, man, I've never taken this. I'll take 2. And I'm a bigger guy. I'm 6'2", 200 pounds. So you would think that, but I started with 2. Then I got up to 4. Then I tried to, but and then I didn't need it as much. I was healing. I went through that year of therapy. Because quite honestly, if you're in pain, you want to loosen up. The best is a beer. Don't go get drunk. Just have like 2 or 3 beers just to loosen up your neck. It's kind of get your appetite going. So I didn't need the Kratom. And also I wasn't like needy of like I'm out of I didn't have that. I don't know if people, maybe it's me, but I didn't have any kind of withdrawal. I didn't feel any different. I could sleep. It wasn't like, because I was addicted to I have anxiety and panic. And in the 90s, I was addicted to like certain medication the doctors prescribed me. And when I got off of them, they're trying to, man, I had like a seizure and it was messed up. Kratom did none of that. And then it's kind of a cure-all. I'll keep some around, but man, there's been time where I couldn't sleep. Take some Kratom. I had some stomach issues. Took Kratom. When I was sick, take a couple. Bam, help me feel better. Help me get around. Like get blood flowing. And also, I hear it's really good for like opiate withdrawals, like people that are on like hardcore drugs, like IV drugs. They Kratom helps with the withdrawal, and they're not they're which is good. Anything that's going to help somebody should be good. And this is not don't go out and buy Kratom and try. I had an injury, and matter of fact, I'll have to deal with it the rest of my life. I just got just happened. Shit happens. And I'm not disabled or anything, but I mean, I've got pain. I'm not, for one, I'm in my 50s, but even with my anxiety, Kratom would help. I don't have my anxiety. See, my anxiety, I had panic and all this was linked to, for me anyway, this is my humble opinion, lack of protein and vitamin C. I didn't even know what was going on. Then I finally had a doctor like, hey, we could, corral this in with your diet. Don't be chugging coffee on an empty stomach, and of course you're gonna have a panic attack or anxious. So if I keep peanuts, I eat peanuts every day. Every morning I eat peanuts, and then vitamin C, wherever you can get it from, just Minute Maid juice, whatever. my anxiety is fine. Just protein and vitamin C, bam. I don't have the jittery, which I dealt with all through my 20s and 30s. I think a lot of creative people have anxiety and panic, and they don't want to talk about, like, it's some kind of embarrassing thing. Shit, I had to deal with it. So it helped me. Again, I'm not taking what they say. Like, start off with 6. Man, that would have no, because that time I did do 6. I took 6. I was like, yeah, I'll just go see what it. And then I was at the grocery store, and I was like, man, I'm not doing this again. Like, I don't like. It made me feel like, I don't know, nervous. And again, I want to be sober and just, I smoke and drink coffee and everything, have a beer, but I don't want to be all, especially during the day. When I was younger, I used to smoke weed during the day. None of that. I want I just want to feel good. Go about life. Yeah, I don't want to need something, rely on something. But creating was a blessing that I found it. And again, I just kind of stumbled upon it. That woman was buying like a big jar of it. And she basically kind of the same situation, had been injured. And she did get addicted to the, again, it took 30 days, a month or two, you're addicted to all those, and it fucks with your belly, and you just, changes your, your personality. You get on like hard drugs, even if they're prescribed, and then everything you get a tolerance to. So if you don't want to, and then you can't drink I wouldn't drink on any of those pills that the doctors give you. You'll die, you'll overdose. And they prescribe so much of that stuff. It's just like, damn. And they were pushing it. No. I was having headaches from my head injury, and they gave me these pills, and I took one. It's supposed to take 2. I tried it one time, never again. It was just horrible. And I told the doctor, like, man, that stuff you gave me, I didn't like, and I didn't. Well, just keep on taking it. What did you just hear what I said? And then once they didn't seem like they were happy that I was on it, because I told my doctor, like, hey man, I discovered Kratom. It's helped me out. He was almost like, really? Huh? Like, yeah, I did it without your help. I just stumbled upon, thank you, Jesus, that I found something that would and it gets a bad rap. Kratom does. Yet these prescribed things don't. Again, I don't like the one Kratom. Like, I think it's the yellow or the red that like gives you, like, it's like I drink like a pot of coffee or something. I don't need that. And then there's mixtures or whatever. So what I stuck with was the green and the white. That's what I took the whole time. Again, I took 2, and I was on it for about. I still take it every once in a while. To me, it's a cure-all. Anything, like a sore throat, take a couple Kratom. Just anytime I of course I still take other things, but it's been a blessing. But then there'll be times where I don't take it, and I'll forget. Like, this past week, I helped a buddy move, and we did like 6 truckloads to move him in, move him out of this place and put it in his storage. And I was tired that day, but the next couple of days I was like, oh my God, I took some Kratom and it helped me. And it's like, thank you. Like, I didn't have to, again, it's like, to me, quick and easy, done with, and I don't have to deal with it. Because there was a while when I was going through therapy, I was taking Kratom like every day, and I'd take it, and be like, man, I'd get worried that I was like, I don't want to be addicted to anything. So I'd stop, and there wasn't any, for me, I wasn't having any kind of, not even I woke up, felt the same. I didn't have it. I could sleep. When I used to take my panic anxiety medicine, man, if I didn't take it, this is again 20, 25 years ago, I couldn't sleep. It was horrible. I was like addicted to this stuff that the doctors prescribed me. And they seem to be happy that, oh, we got you. My dad was all into like holistic medicine. He was a doctor. He was a chiropractor, which a lot of people look down on, like, oh, chiropractor. But he was like a serious chiropractor. He taught at Palmer College of Chiropractic, like the biggest chiropractic college in the world. It's in Davenport, Iowa. And I would spend summers there when I was coming up. And he was the first, when he opened his own practice, he dealt with holistic kind of herbal stuff. He didn't want to, matter of fact, he might have been one of that I know that did that. And it kind of hurt him because he wasn't like, you can make more money when you're dealing with pharmaceuticals, this, that, and the other. And here he is, was the herbal, and this is in the 70s and 80s. He was all about the natural, holistic remedies. And he kind of ran about, and this is before I saw anybody going after the pharmaceutical. He was just, I didn't like him. And again, it was bad for his practice. He wasn't liked among, I'm all about chiropractic. I'm all about the, I haven't been to a chiropractor in a while. Almost a year. But I do think, like, I walk, I stretch. There's a stretching thing I do. Your mental health is real important to, and again, Kratom didn't mess with any of that. It didn't mess with, because at first when I got injured, they're giving me these, I didn't want to take, it was just, I didn't want that. And again, when it's hot, I was living in LA, it's hot during the day. You don't want to be taking these pills. I mean, maybe you do but not me. I don't want to be slowed down and my gut. And then if I do want a beer, it's like, well, man, I just took those drugs. I don't want to fucking be, again, they were prescribed. I don't want to be drinking and I've never drank on Kratom either. I never like pop Kratom and it's that. But there's been people I've known, and I'm like, hey, people with injuries or whatever, like, you ever heard of Kratom? Kratom, I think I've heard of it. Isn't that for like, recovery? Like, no, well, it's for everything. You can, and now they sell it like everywhere. Like you see it around. I mean, and for how long though? How long for the pharmaceutical companies? Like, oh no, I wonder if you can grow it. I mean, I guess you could. Is it illegal? I don't know. Can you just like grow your own Kratom? Be careful. Would it be strong when it's? Well, I don't know. And which kind you do? Again, I don't like. There's certain kinds, and I'm sorry, but I think there's the green, the red, the yellow, and the white. Maybe there's a different one, but yeah, I think it's the yellow that I didn't like. Even though I took and maybe there was more, because this is another thing. These different companies, you got to see how much is in the capsule or tablet, whatever. Some of it is like lighter than, because I remember it was on, the guy was like, look, I'm discontinuing this company. I'm getting another one. I'll sell you this bottle for like, it was cheap, like $15. But it was yellow. I was like, I never done yellow. And they were bigger. So I took 2 of those like the next day, and man, no. I threw it away. Like, I just, no, I don't like to be, pardon me, like nervous. And maybe if you were down and you needed energy, but no, I'd rather just drink a cup of coffee. So be forewarned if you are going to, and I wouldn't recommend just, recreational Kratom use. Like, try it. No, if you've got an injury, if you've got something going on, if you are wanting to withdrawing from something, maybe you could try it. Can you hear my dog? He's like ripping up the bed. Hey, he's so funny. He goes to that one corner. My bed's made. He digs up the blanket and the sheet, and then he makes his little self a nest. He's like Nesty the Builder. He's 18. I just got his haircut. 18 years old. I wonder if dogs can take Kratom. But anyway, again, a blessing. I would recommend, if someone again has a injury, because I had a serious injury. And again, I still can't, wish I could reach into my neck sometimes, but I can't, And I went through therapy. It was horrible. I went like 3 times a week for, how many? It was a long time. And I got to, at first, I couldn't even lift up like a 2-pound weight. Like I couldn't do, it was horrible. I could barely do them. And then they start you up kind of, and I wanted to quit. I literally was like, this is, I didn't. And I didn't know about my, I was all crunched over. I didn't even know. Hey, I'm doing my podcast, man. I'm live right now, but swing on by when you're. Cool. Let's do it, man. Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah, sorry about that. We're going to eat some food, run around, friend of mine. So, yeah, you don't want, again, no recreational to be like, I'm going to go out and no, don't, because your experience might be different than mine. But I was in pain. My posture, I didn't even realize I was like, when I went to therapy, they're like, dude, look, they stood me up straight, like, ow, and I had to eventually get my posture. I still will lean in, and what happened, my injury, I'll just tell you, I got beat up. I got jumped by 3 dudes at work. I was on the microphone in Hollywood Boulevard. I was like a on microphone carnival barker, but hey, I was a salesman on a microphone, and this, wrong place, wrong time. They hit me from behind at first. It was I'm lucky to be alive, basically. Shit happens. Scary. It was scary. And concussed. You ever had a concussion? But and the cops came. I have a blood-stained police report to this day, and I got settled. It was cool. Everything's fine, But you just never know, You just I never thought, Then you go to work one day, and you don't think that like you're going to be jumped by like 3 gangbangers or something. It's um not cool. Let's put it that way. But yeah, I would suggest that if you, in a few situations where maybe you are worried about the prescribed medication that you're on, try some Kratom to wean yourself off. Maybe if you are doing darker things and you're tired, change your life, you try a little bit of Kratom. Maybe if you've had an injury or you have had whatever it is, you can try it. But don't go out and like use it for fun. Let's go party on Kratom. No. And I don't even know again, I've never done enough to, because again, it's not a high. If that's the high, I don't like it. I wanted to stay normal and feel better. Kind of made me feel like normal, Again, I was only taking 2. The bottle said take 6. I was watching Joe Rogan a while back, and he's talking about Kratom, and he did it, and he's like, yeah, it says take 6. He took 6. And he was like, yeah, I'm feeling great. Yeah, I mean, shit, he took 6 of them. I'd never taken it, and I took 2. And it's like, wow, I can bend my neck. I can look around. I can, not have to, again, when you're in pain and you're stiffing up, that makes you worry. That makes you down. That makes you depressed. Well, here comes depression. Here comes anxiety. Here comes the panic. Here comes the just, and there were some days I was laying in bed. I had to roll out of bed. I was in so much pain. And then I had to go to therapy, drive there. It was in a bad area, LA, near the 10, if you know what that area. It's just, and the building, like next to this doctor's building I went to, there was always these shady people outside this. It was a nice building, but and they would be sitting outside. There might be a line of them, and then I finally found it was like a parole office or something. Bad area that it was a nice hospital that I went to, and I thank the people there, the therapist and stuff. They really did me a solid. They pushed me because I was like, I can't do. They're like, you're gonna have to. You gotta have to. I was like, no, because I thought it was making it worse. At first, when I started going, it was making it worse. Like, man, you guys made a mistake. Should I be doing this physical therapy with my head injury and this thing? I'm about to pass out. I don't like, no, that's normal. You're gonna have to do it slowly, work your way up to, I mean, I'd literally be like teary-eyed in pain. And then at the end of the session, they would lay like hot things on my neck, and I'd sit there in a chair for a while to doing the simplest things, stuff you take for granted. But I didn't want surgery. I didn't want them like, oh, no. A lot of these doctors, you're like a cash register to them. Like, oh, a surgery that costs $290,000. That's like nah. I wanted to try alternative stuff, and I did. I literally, it was by accident, just going into that cigarette store. If my curious mind hadn't have asked her, I was behind her in the line. I was like, excuse me, I hate to not be rude, but what is that? Why do you use? She was like, oh, I got in a car wreck. She was totally cool about it. And she wasn't like, she looked like a businesswoman. Like she was, and she was older too. Dressed nice. She was in a nice car. And she's like, look, I'm busy. I've been doing, I can't be on these drugs. I got Kratom helps me. And I'll buy this big bottle. Man, she bought a huge one. And the more you can buy big, it's cheaper if you buy it in bulk, but I never bought like a huge bottle. I get these like little small, and she was cool about it. She could have went, hey, don't bug me. No, she was fine. And then I wasn't even going to buy any. I was just getting my cigarettes. So I was like, hey man, if you want to try, I'll give you this bottle for like $10. You can check it out. And he gave me the green. He knew me. He's like, yeah, I'd start with this green because there's other stuff. And he was kind of telling me, did me a solid because I took two. My neck, I could, it was hard to drive, like it sucked. And I was like, hey, because I used to walk the park every morning. I can walk now. I can go out and like, move around. But be forewarned, anything, if you drink too much coffee, if you drink too much beer, if you eat too much, it's not something to be playing with. This is not, I'm not like endorsing Kratom. I'm just being honest, my humble opinion, what I've used. It does get a bad rap from certain people. Other people are like, it's a miracle. I think it's like a cure-all. Like for me, it's helped me out with a lot of things. Again, I'm not taking it like a fiend, It helped me get through my injury in my physical therapy. And now I keep it around like aspirin or something. Like I said, to take an aspirin, I'll just take a cup of Kratom. Don't over, like the guy said, like handfuls. Like I went and the guy was like, dude, the guy just can't open the bottle and literally like, didn't he have any water? No, just chopped all that down. And he goes, he'll be back in a couple of days to get a bigger bottle. Like you don't want to do that. Certain people have like an addictive personality. You don't want to, God forbid, shit. But my humble opinion, it helped me out. I recommend it to someone who is in dire need of something that's going to, heal them. Forget about getting high, but about healing yourself. There's you do like these pills. For one, it's got everything under the sun. Your body has to process that. You're kind of out of the next day. I couldn't do it. I didn't want to live. I couldn't think if I had to do that whole year. What they were going to prescribe me. This is not me hitting the street. This is the doctors like wanting to prescribe like all this shit. Matter of fact, they did. I just never went. And I went back and, oh, I see you didn't even take that. I go, dude, I told you I didn't want these prescriptions. I'm scared to be addicted to some kind of hardcore, strong pain medicine. Isn't that a thing? Would you not like, Again, that's a serious thing. That could change someone's life. You get addicted to that. The next thing you know, you did, and then you get a tolerance, and you need something stronger, and then you shit. And everybody could, shit. That world, the opiate world, you ain't gonna make it. You think that no. I've seen people. I've lost people, man. Family and friends. I just know better. I don't want to be. I'm not. It ain't gonna happen, man. I'll stick with my my kratom, the leaf, the natural stuff. So it's my humble opinion. I'm not endorsing anything. Again, I do this every day. I'll be back tomorrow. I love y'all. Be blessed. Cheers.